Hey everybody, Jane here, and we are here with our October Buzzwordathon reading vlog. So for those who have never seen one of my reading vlogs before, for Buzzwordathon, Books and Lala announced at the beginning of the year a monthly prompt for each, for a title and for a book cover for each month of the year. And for October, her prompt for the title was Violent Words, and her prompt for the cover was weapons. So during this reading vlog in October, I'm going to read as many books as I can with either a title that has a violent words or a cover that has a weapon on it. I will tell you, covers with weapons are a lot harder to come by than you might think. I've tried that for other readathons and it hasn't always gone well. So there'll probably be a lot of title words and a lot less covers, but we'll see how the month goes. So for the first thing I'm going to be reading for the month of October, and I'm hoping to get it done very quickly because I'm taking a car trip, is Butcher and Blackbird. This is a dark romance, and I believe this is probably my first true foray into dark romance. So I am excited to give it a try. I will pop in and let you know how it goes as soon as I've listened to a bit of it. All right, guys. So I know there was no update there. I finished Butcher and Blackbird basically in a day and a half, question mark. I really enjoyed it. 4-star. It wasn't quite a 5-star for me, but I did really, really have a good time. So I loved, for those who don't know, and I feel like most people know what Butcher and Blackbird is, there are these two serial killers who kill other bad people, and they meet during a kill gone wrong, basically. And they start kind of competing with each other and doing like, okay, we're going to meet once a year and do this, hunt a serial killer in a competitive kind of way. And normally that trope of we meet once a year doesn't work for me. In this particular instance, I thought it did, probably because the other stuff in the story did work so well for me. So I really enjoyed it, despite having that where normally it's like, oh, we're missing all this time. But it didn't feel like we're missing all this character building in between. It just felt like, okay, we're seeing them in this moment and maybe they haven't really communicated other than a few texts beforehand. So I didn't feel like there was a lot of like relationship building off stage, despite the fact that you have these big giant time gaps. So I will say, I think for people who are like, oh, this is so gross and triggering, especially like the ice cream, I did not feel that way. Maybe I read a lot of books that other people aren't reading, but I was like, okay, ice cream, cool. Sorry guys, I'm not triggered by things like that. But yeah, no, it was a very spicy, sweet, fun romance. I liked the guy, I liked the girl. Everybody had personality, everybody had development. There was some really nice spicy scenes. It was just lovely. So yeah, I ended up giving it a 4-star. It didn't quite hit the way I need a 5-star to hit, but man, it was good. It was so good. I really had a good time. And because of the way it ends with a little bit of, I won't say a cliffhanger, but the epilogue leaves some questions. I decided to go ahead and start on Leather and Lark. So Leather and Lark, for people who have not read the series or don't know anything about it, is a sequel. It does not feature the same two characters. So we don't have Rowan and Sloane anymore, who were the characters in book 1. This is Lachlan and Lark. So Lachlan is Rowan's older brother, and Lark is Sloane's best friend. And they are, I'm going to throw this in here. I don't think it's on the book cover, but it happens pretty early-ish in the book. They have to kind of enter into an arranged marriage to protect Rowan and Lachlan and Sloane. And like Lark, basically her parents are kind of the mafia, and the mafia wants to take out Rowan and Lachlan, and not really Sloane, but like Rowan and Lachlan for reasons. And so Lark is like, okay, these are my people, particularly Sloane. Sloane is my person, and I cannot let anything happen to Rowan because Rowan, you know, is her person, and I don't want anything to happen to Lachlan because, again, Lachlan is Rowan's brother. And so Lark is trying to protect everybody. And so to avoid this like mafia hit from her parents, she's all like, okay, Lachlan, we got to get married. And Lachlan is like, you hate me, and I don't really like you. And she's like, it doesn't matter. We got to do this thing. I will tell you so far, and I'm really early. I'm like at right around the 30% mark. I love the trope set more than the trope set for Butcher and Blackbird. So arranged marriage is really my thing, and I am loving that. I don't normally like a hate to love, but a hate to love in an arranged marriage in this circumstance is working for me. Now, it could go really, really down the drain. I could decide I hate it. Don't know yet. But so far as we are, I am having a great time with Leather and Lark. So this is for the prompt weapon on the cover. No, both books, Butcher and Blackbird was both the word title, Butcher, and then weapons on the cover. This is weapons on the cover. And because I wanted to, just being honest, I just wanted to read it. So I am really having a good time with it so far. And like I said, it is about 30% in, and the trope set is working for me. The characters are working for me. There is a lot of, not miscommunication in the way that it usually happens, but instead a lot of like, this person knows things or doesn't know things about the other person and makes assumptions based on like what you would assume about a person. And their assumptions are wrong because both characters have like some deep, dark secrets. So yeah, I'm really having a good time so far. Which it doesn't really surprise me, but at the same time, like sometimes books end up overhyped. Sometimes books are ones that, you know, other people are excited about because of the triggers or because it's a little outlandish. And if you read really widely, maybe you don't have that same reaction as other people. But I enjoyed it. I was loving what was happening. I'm having a good reaction to it. I'm not grossed out, but I think it's funny, and I love the humor, and I've had some like laugh out loud moments, and I like the characters, and I like the romance. So it is going swimmingly for me so far. So I will check back. I did also travel while I was reading, so I will put a couple pictures and clips from my travels in below so that it's actually more like a video vlog. I know a lot of you who follow me don't always get the vlog parts because sometimes I don't have much going on in my life and my life is boring. But this month, I just, on listening to these, I traveled to visit my daughter who lives with her father, and we stayed down there for about 4 days. So we listened to the books on the way down, on the way back, and then also like we did some fun stuff in between. So I'll insert fun clips, and I'll see you guys with an update soon. Cool. Ooh, hi babies. Ow.
Hey friend, that was my hand, not the chick.
Oh, he's on my phone. All right. Hey, buddy.
Well, I guess
Oh, they're all in your hair. And one of them's just chilling on my phone. Now they're gone. Oh, they're on it again. Hey, bird's nesting.
Hey dear. Hey dear, you want some food? Good boys.
The water, guys. I want to go to the
Yeah, you can get all the loves. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I love you.
After you get done, please let the ones on the left come over and feed them.
Hi.
Animals are so
Hi, friend. Look at him.
Lay down beside her on the soft green grass. I look at the sky, praying she'll say yes. Her eyes gently glow and dancing moonlight. That pierced me so deeply, so soft and so bright. Her smiling face makes the rest of the world fade away. She is about to be mine. I feel my...
Yes, I dyed my hair. We don't have time to talk about that. Oh my gosh. I just read, if you have read Leather and Lark, the Lark on the stage and the present that she gave Lachlan, it was so good. I was like, oh, it was lovely. So yeah, that's our check-in. Still really, really enjoying Leather and Lark. That was delicious. Perfect. Wonderful. I will give you updates. I am about to start the epilogue for Leather and Lark. I am 99.9% sure that it will have no bearing on my rating. I am giving this book a 5-star, and I abso-freaking-lutely loved all the stuff that just happened. So if you have read the book, the last little bit before the epilogue, the choice, the thing, the options, oh yes, this is what I want in my heart. I love it. I like it. I liked it obviously better than Butcher and Blackbird. Now I really like Butcher and Blackbird. Don't get me wrong. That was really good. It was solid. I don't know why Lachlan and Lark really spoke to me more than Rowan and Sloane. And I don't know if the plot was quite as fun and exciting, but man, the characters, I just love these characters. I love them. So yeah, that was so good. I have a couple minor complaints. The use of the W word when they're messing around is not my favorite, and in most circumstances it would be a little bit of an ick for me, and was kind of a little bit of an ick for me, but like that's my biggest complaint, is a word choice that was, consensually used. So I certainly am not going to be too upset about it, but like that was so good. I assume the epilogue will help me decide if I want to read the last book in the series. I don't so far have much interest in Rose and Fionn, which is the other brother, the doctor brother. But maybe that'll change. Maybe the epilogue will convince me, because I'll be really honest, I wasn't 100% sure. Like even going in after Butcher and Blackbird, like I wasn't necessarily like, oh yeah, I've got to read Leather and Lark. I'm so glad I did, but I don't know that I was really convinced until the epilogue that I needed to read it. And so maybe the epilogue will convince me to go forward. I will not be reading that this month, though. I'm not sure if I'm going to get another book in. And if I do, I have some ideas of what it's going to be. We are getting towards the end of the month, but I think it's like the 22nd, 23rd. So I still have a little time. I could probably do one more book. I just haven't been doing any traveling, so I don't know. Everything's hard, and I haven't been wanting to read very much. I am like the world's slowest reader right now. I'm in the middle of 4 different books, none of which I'm moving fast through, one of which just got sent back to the library because like I'm making so little progress, and like there were other holds, and I'm like, I'll just come back to it. But yeah, so like reading is not happening a lot, but like I'm so glad I love this. I'm so glad this is very much what I was in the mood for and is working so well for me. So yeah, I will get back to you and let you know what the next book, if there is another book that I decide to read this month, is. But yeah, or if the epilogue in any way like blows my mind, changes my feelings. But right now, without the epilogue and with just finishing the last scene in this book, oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's exactly what I wanted. All right, so we have some updates. Firstly, I did finish Leather and Lark. I did give it 5 stars, and I just gotta say, there is like a bonus spicy scene that also has like some character stuff happen. It is so good. It's like metaphorical character stuff, and it just hit so lovely. I loved it. It was great. Yeah, Leather and Lark, wonderful. All right, so we do have a few more days left in the month. I am hoping I can get reading done, so we are going to talk about what I'm starting and hopefully finish. So the first one I've started, I'm not very far in, is a Nero Wolfe mystery, The League of Frightened Men. I have read the first Nero Wolfe book and it was really good. This one I'm really having a good time with as well. This will be for a weapon on the cover. It is a a pew-pew. When I take and put like the picture from Goodreads that I usually have in these so that you can like see the book while I talk about it without me having to hold it in the screen. I don't know if it will be the same cover, but the cover that I have has a pew-pew. So, yeah. This is interesting so far. So it is about, so Nero Wolfe is this detective, but he is like homebound. I am not sure if he's got OCD, autism, agoraphobia, but he doesn't like to leave the house. He's very strict on his schedule. He is a very particular man. So he is homebound, but he has this associate Archie who he sends out to like help him do detective work. And like Archie brings him back the information and Nero Wolfe solves mysteries. So that is like the general thing of Nero Wolfe. In this particular one, a man has come to him and said basically that several years ago, he was involved in a college hazing that ended badly, and the gentleman who was hazed ended up quite severely handicapped for life. And then people that were involved have started, not being alive anymore. And they believe that this guy is coming after them. He also went to court and like said that he had taken out somebody because he writes books. So he's an author. The guy who is suspected, the guy who's injured, is an author. And they think that he is like his books are being tried for obscenity. And that's how he was like telling people that he has taken out people, and that's why they're freaking out. But also like people are getting mysterious letters who are involved with it. It's a little bit of a complicated plot so far, but I'm really enjoying it and having a good time. There's just a lot of characters because you have these whole like group of guys who are involved in the hazing. And right now where I'm at, Nero Wolfe has just like called all of them together, and I have a feeling he's gonna be like, I'd like to save your lives, would you like to give me some money? Because he's big into money. So that's where I am with that. Like I said, not super far, fairly early on. Am enjoying, don't remember much about the first book, but having a good time with this one so far. The other book I started, because I started an audiobook, is Murder in Mesopotamia, and that's going to be for the title, the violent words, murder. So, this is a Hercule Poirot, although I'm not to the point where Poirot is in the book. I just started it. So what I've gotten so far, I don't know much about it because I didn't like read the back of it. I'm going in mostly blind. There is a nurse, and she had gone on a trip to Mesopotamia, to somewhere in the Middle East, Mesopotamia, I assume. I don't know exactly where, to help this family with a baby. And then the family ended up going home early, and another person was like, hey, I have a wife who has like a disorder. And the nurse assumes it is substances. But, the guy is kind of making it like, oh, she's just really nervous. And I think she'd be comforted if I could get a nurse to help care for her. And the nurse is like, okay, I need work and it's fine. And that'll extend my travels a little bit, which is great. So the nurse is agreeing to go talk to this lady, and she's like, can you give me some idea about your wife's condition? Because she's kind of not sure based on what he's saying if she's like mental health or if she's substances, or if like the husband thinks it's mental health but she's substances, or even like the environment and being around a lot of people who don't look like her and don't speak like her, because Agatha Christie has very old views about that. And then we've got the nurse actually asked the guy, she's like, are you sure it's just not being around all of those people? And And he's like, no, she speaks the language, and she finds their humor fine. It's not that. So we don't know yet what's wrong with the lady or what she's concerned about, but the nurse is apparently going to go find out exactly from this lady like what her problem is, and hopefully I don't know. I don't know if this lady's going to get murdered, because it is a Poirot. Somebody's going to die. So I will let you know how those go. I am hoping I can finish both of them. I don't have a lot of plans this weekend or next week, but also I could get called into sub shifts, because like this week I was only supposed to do one sub shift and this is my second. So who knows, but I'm hoping I can get these done before the end of the month. Fingers crossed. I will check in with you soon. All right, guys, update. So it is actually November now. I am hoping to finish I finished one book. I finished Murder in Mesopotamia, and I'm hoping to finish the Nero Wolfe book. I wanted to finish it today. I don't know if I'll get to it today, but maybe tomorrow or the next day, so that I can start on November's blog. But I am so close to finishing that I don't want to stop. So let me update you on the Nero Wolfe, and then we'll jump into Murder in Mesopotamia, because I can give you like a fuller idea about that one. All right, so League of Frightened Gentlemen. I have 70 pages to go. I am enjoying it, but it is a tricky read. So what I will say is there are some really good moments, some really good dialogue, some really good insight, but because of the age of the book, and because I'm reading it where the last one I audio read, there are places that I am stumbling and struggling with just the age of the book, and that it's an older book. Basically, I'm just like having moments where it's a lot harder to get through than a more modern book. It really uses words I'm not always familiar with, or slang that I'm not always familiar with, and I really have to think about it. So I have no clue what is happening in the book as far as like who done it, or even, I don't want to say if somebody did it, because somebody did do it, but like, I don't know what's happening. So yeah, I have no idea, 70 pages from the end, who done it, if you will. But again, still overall enjoying it. Love Nero Wolfe. Love some of the really good dialogue. Struggling with just the agedness of the book itself. It's fine. I definitely probably want to take a little break before I read another Nero Wolfe, though, because it just feels very hard. It's a lot of work. And while I enjoy it, it's a lot of work. All right. So then Murder in Mesopotamia, which I did just finish, I'm going to give a 4. And I'll be really honest, I was debating between a low 4 and a high 3. But I did really enjoy the vast majority of it. I just had some struggles when we came to the conclusion. So I don't think I told you much about Murder in Mesopotamia, actually. A girl is a nurse, and she is taking care of this woman whose husband says, she has a nervous condition. We find out that this woman had received threatening letters, presumably from her dead husband. She had been married to a guy, and he did some illegal stuff, and she turned him into the authorities, and he was arrested, and there was a situation where he was presumed dead, but then she started getting these letters that maybe from him, maybe from somebody else, who knows, and she ends up dead. And so Poirot is brought in to try to figure out what is happening. Was the person who sending the letters the person who killed her? Did somebody else kill her? Did somebody find out about the letters and be like, this is a perfect alibi? Is the husband alive? Is he dead? All the good stuff. And I was having a good time with it. I had a couple issues with the conclusion. And these are going to be very, very mild spoilers. I'm going to keep it really vague But if you really are sensitive to spoilers, you may not want to hear this bit. And you can just move on to whenever you see me talking about League of Frightened Gentlemen again. All right, so the two problems I had with the end of the book, with the reveal. The first is, again, Christie uses the trope of somebody is not who they appear to be. Now, I just finished reading Death at a Funeral, and we had that same trope. Somebody is not who they are supposed to be. And Christie uses that trope quite a bit, and it really annoys me and irritates me. In this particular case, because we had hints that there was the possibility that somebody was not who they said they were supposed to be, and Poirot actually brings that up, I really can't dock too many points from this because we knew early on that this was a possibility, that somebody is not who they say they are, because Poirot has brought it up. Still, I just have a hard time imagining somebody being able to pull off that level of deceit of people know me really, really well, and then in 20 years or however many years, I'm so different they can't recognize me. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying, I have met a lot of people that I have went to high school with, and then I'm in my 40s now, so it's been 25-ish years, maybe a little less than that, 23, 24. Anyway, some have gained a lot of weight, some have lost a lot of weight, but a lot of them I still generally recognize. Now, it's possible that there's somebody who maybe I didn't recognize, but they'd have to change quite a bit. And I can't imagine it being somebody who I knew fairly well, and then they are not who they're supposed to be. And that happened both at Death of the Funeral, although I think more time had passed. I think it was 40 years. And then that happened in this one. And again, I don't know exactly how much time has passed, but just given the nature of the thing, I'm having a hard time believing that nobody caught on. That's a minor complaint, and I'll forgive that one because, like I said, Poirot does throw out, hey, it is possible that this is a thing. So we were at least warned. The other element I have an issue with, and this again goes to, as a reader of mysteries, I want to solve the mystery along with the detective. I want it to be something brilliant that I missed. The second thing, the inciting clue, the clue that is Poirot's aha, is something that I feel like I, as a reader, because I am reading and not physically there, could not possibly have known. So basically, the titular, the clue that brings it all together for Poirot has to do with the setup of the estate. Let's just say the estate. That's nice and broad. I'm doing this as an audiobook, and I don't assume blueprints to the entire estate are in the physical book. Maybe they are. But as an audiobook reader, for sure, and somebody who is not looking at the estate as an image, there is no way I could figure out the particular clue that breaks the case for Poirot. And I think that, for me, is my frustration. Now, maybe I missed it and it was said somewhere, but I really don't think it was. I don't think that this titular clue was revealed until Poirot is like, well, I noticed. And that just seems unfair to me. Now, granted, Agatha Christie was writing murder mysteries a long, long time ago. The rules of murder mysteries have changed. And like maybe readers back then just wanted a good like, oh, that's brilliant. I hate that. And I want to feel like I could have solved it. Like I want it to be one of those things where you've given me all the clues and I just am too dumb if I didn't solve it, or like I solve it right before the detective is. Like that's where I want to be. I don't enjoy when it's something that because I didn't have knowledge, I could not have figured out on my own. And I feel like this book does that. So I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. It was fine. Like I said, I debated between a high 3 because I did enjoy it, but the reveal, yeah. And I also will say I don't know that there was really the justice that I crave from these kind of books. So there were some things that I would like, but then I did enjoy the vast majority of it enough that I could give it a 4. Like, it was a pretty entertaining read. I was not bored. I was not particularly confused. Sometimes with Christie, she has all these characters and I don't know who's who. I generally followed who was who and what we were doing most of the time. And for Christie, that's a win, because sometimes things go off the rails and I'm like, I don't even know who's who or what we're doing, particularly as an audiobook. So I'm going to give it a 4 because I think it was a good enough time. I just personally, because of the clues that were outside my ability to know, felt a little bit cheated at the end. And the trope of somebody is not who they are supposed to be. That annoys me. So, all right, I'm going to finish my Nero Wolf, and I will check back in with you when that is finished, and then we will be done with this blog and ready to start the actual November Buzzwordathon. I hate that I'm starting it late, but it's just what's going to happen because I could not get all these books read and I want to, and I'm so close. So I'll check in with you soon. Hey everybody, so it is a couple days into November, but I did finish League of Frightened Gentlemen, and I ended up giving it a 3-star. So this book was good, but it was written in the 30s, and you can tell it was written in the 30s. It has some words and attitudes that are outdated. So that could definitely make some people uncomfortable. The things that it does well, I think the chemistry between Archie and Nero is a lot of fun. There are some really great lines, some really fun dialogue. Aside from being like old with some ideas that are a little uncomfortable, including like ableism, fat phobia, things like that. Another thing that I didn't enjoy about it was that because it was so old, it's a lot of work to read for me, a modern reader. Now, I do read older stuff, like I read Christie, and I would say this was maybe a little harder to mull through than a Christie. I think partly because it uses some slang that I'm not super familiar with. Also, Nero Wolfe is kind of a very educated guy, and so sometimes he'll use big words that I'm really not familiar with and I have to like use context. And there were just places that it felt like effort to read. The first book I did as an audiobook, and I kind of wish this had been an audiobook too. I think that would have maybe made it a little easier for me to consume. But I did have a good time. I do plan on reading more. The mystery was fine. I did solve parts of the mystery pretty early. But there was like another part to the mystery that I didn't solve Nero Wolfe is like, and here's the thing. And I was like, oh, okay. All right, Nero, cool. So, overall though, a good time with it. And I did really enjoy some of the dialogue, some of the like byline things that worked. So yeah, that is our reading for November. And we are gonna for October, we're gonna get started on November. I'm super excited about November. But yeah, I hope y'all had a great October reading month. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books and what you did read for October if you were doing Buzzwordathon, and if those books were good for you. Come see me next month for Buzzwordathon again. The prompts for November, I believe, are a book with never in the title and food or drink on the cover. And like, subscribe, and all the stuff. Thank you. Bye.
Pictures and patterns put into words that stream across the page.